Canan bo'laman deb hammani kuydirasanmi? Kuygan bu faqirlarni yana yondirasanmi? G'aming shuki 100 yilga davr ana shundoq turasanmi? Yosh boshing bilan 100 yilga davr yana shundoq turasanmi? Ya
Did you forget the words?
Yeah, I forgot the words.
I'm impressed. I would have forgotten the words. Like you have a brain freeze, don't you? The words lose. But that's really impressive. Thank you for that. I'm just going to introduce us. Welcome to a special edition of Malaysia Gazette with your very own unfiltered podcast here with me, Saira Hayati. We've got a really special guest here today and we're honoured to be in your company, His Excellency Dr. Karimuddin Gadoev. Have I pronounced that right? Thank you. He's the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Uzbekistan to Malaysia. Selamat datang and welcome to the Malaysia Gazette. Apa khabar, Your Excellency?
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And very good afternoon and Salamat Tenggahari.
You know the answer.
First of all, thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting me to your studio. And I am very happy to be there, and it's a how to say good practice.
Good practice, yes.
To organize such informal conversation.
I think so, especially to start off with song the way you did, kindly. Yeah. I appreciate that very much. So I'm going to hit off with some of the questions that we have because of your relations with Malaysia, and there's really as much information and insights that you can give us will be appreciated. And I've listened to some of the things that you were saying earlier, and really interesting progress that's coming ahead with the relations and the collaboration. So, Your Excellency, Uzbekistan has undergone some remarkable transformations over the years, both economically and diplomatically. Its relationships with Malaysia continue to grow stronger. So I'm going to start off with the initial conversation with the bilateral cooperation and relations that you have got with the Malaysians and that growing relationship, particularly with trade and investment, and how you see the shape and the future of this collaboration. Could you tell me some more, please?
Thank you. Thank you. This is a very key question. And we are considering the Malaysia one of the friendly and the very important partner in Southeast Asia. Why? Because Malaysia was one of the first country who recognized the independence of the Republic of Uzbekistan at the beginning of 1992. It was recognized. It was 1st January 1992, and we established it in February of those year our diplomatic relations. And Malaysia opened its embassy in our country in 1993, and we opened our embassy here in Kuala Lumpur in 1997. And Prime Minister of Malaysia at the beginning of 1990s, Muhammad Mahathir, they visited one of among the first foreign leaders, the Uzbekistan, and of course in 2003 the Agong of Malaysia, that time, nowadays Raja of Perlis, Sirajuddin Said, also visited Uzbekistan. And 2008, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Badawi, also visited. And our first president 2 times visited Malaysia. And last high-level visit was in 2008. It's a long time ago. And thanks to, accelerating of our bilateral cooperation, the recent years, during the last 7-8 years, we are now reached many things. For example, we this year in May, 17th and 19th of May, after the 16 years, we organized the historic visit of Prime Minister of Malaysia, His Excellency Honorable Anwar Ibrahim to Uzbekistan. After the 32 years of our cooperation, we held in February of this year here in Kuala Lumpur, first Uzbek-Malaysia Business Forum. And of course, during the visit of Honorable Prime Minister to Uzbekistan in Samarkand, we hold the second Malaysia-Uzbekistan Business Forum. That's and amazing. We signed many very important intergovernmental documents. And of course, now we are planning to organize third business forum soon. In September, 25th of September, in historical city of Uzbekistan, Khiva. There are more than 50 companies of Malaysia planning to come to Khiva, and we are planning to discuss and to sign many our joint projects. And in July of this year, by the initiative of the group of Malaysian entrepreneurs, there was organized the Malaysia-Uzbekistan Business Alliance. This business alliance also doing very well. Recently, in 5th of September, we hold the big event, the presentation of touristic potential of Uzbekistan here in Kuala Lumpur, where attended more than 180 touristic companies of Malaysia, and at the same time, more than 10 touristic companies from Tashkent especially came for this event. Thanks to these all activities, our trade and investment cooperation is developing very well. Last year, our trade turnover reached doubled in comparing 2022 and reached 190 million US dollars.
Wow.
It's of course,
that's
there
a huge
is a
achievement,
huge amount of the export from Malaysia to Uzbekistan, and more than 8 million US dollars export from Uzbekistan to Malaysia. It says that we have a huge untapped potential in our bilateral cooperation.
Yeah.
For example, Uzbekistan can export to Malaysia many textile goods, processed food, fresh food and vegetables, because we are producing a lot of fresh food and vegetables. Last year, we produced more than 22 million tons of the fruit and vegetables. And at the same time, Malaysia could also increase its export to Uzbekistan. For example, the tropic fruits, very popular in Uzbekistan.
I was going to say.
At the same time, the palm oil. And now we are working on the importing the palm oil and deep processing in the territory of Uzbekistan. So in the touristic sphere also,
there's a lot of exchanges that can be had.
A lot of exchanging in these spheres, and many big companies coming to Uzbekistan for their business activities. For example, now we are beginning to implement some projects with some Sunview company who would like to establish 2 solar farms in Fergana Valley. KK Group, which is very well known here in Malaysia, would like to open the network, its supermarkets in Uzbekistan. And Petronas company also now negotiating with Uzbek side on reviving its activities in our country. So we have many things to do. We have a huge homework to do in the future, and we are talking working very hardly.
Quite rapidly as well, by the
yes.
sounds of it as well. The hunger is there, the drive is there, passion is there.
Yes.
It's,
Yes.
And everybody's invested.
And the very important, both sides has a very good intention.
Yes.
Intention for the cooperation.
And honest and honourable and
Yes.
fair
Yes.
working together. I think that's...
because we have a good base for that. We have many similarities. Our
Yes.
societies is very similar. We
Yes.
have a common sacred religion.
Yes.
And even our cultures very similar. Traditions also very similar. And therefore, to work together,
Yeah.
very easy.
And that's important, isn't it? So one of the things that we've seen is that you're very centrally positioned. And I noticed where you were on the map and that you're very strategically positioned for trade and industry, and it's particular to the Belt and Road Initiative and other regional development projects. How do you see Malaysia's role when it comes to that, particularly the Belt and Road Initiative?
The Belt and Road Initiative, it's reviving the old Great Silk Road.
Yes.
From ancient time, Uzbekistan, you mentioned very right. Uzbekistan from ancient time had a central position in Great Silk Road. And nowadays also we have a very central position in Central Asia.
It's an interchange. It's
yes,
the interchange.
yeah. You know, all routes coming from the east, they are interconnecting in the territory of modern Uzbekistan.
Yeah, which is
and
a big
going
deal.
further to the west, to the northwest and the southwest through the territory of Uzbekistan. And therefore, during my meeting here in Malaysia, I am discussing with our Malaysian partners if we will further develop our cooperation with the Malaysian companies who has a very high developed technologies, experience. We need it because we are young independent country.
Yes.
If they will have here in Uzbekistan their business, Central Asia, Uzbekistan is the central position in Central Asia. We are saying Central Asia is the center of Asia, but Uzbekistan is the center of Central Asia.
Okay.
We are bordering with all other STAN countries.
Yes.
And it's a big market, nearly 80 million people. And broader market is CIS countries, Commonwealth of Independent States, is a former Soviet Union.
Yep.
It's a nearly 300 million people. And all these countries, they have among them the free trade zone agreements.
Yep.
It's a very important to have a business in the territory of Uzbekistan, and you will not have any problems to import some goods or export your ready goods to other markets. And so in this direction, we have a very good opportunities and potential for the business with the Malaysian side.
So it must be quite scary that there's such scope to be had, isn't there, really, from this one small location, how the ripple effect can go across to all of the other countries surrounding.
Yes.
But what you're hoping for is those collaborations to give you the support and the lift to advance themselves with technology to streamline the process so that we can achieve something great and very quickly, by the sounds of what you're saying.
Because many Malaysian companies had unique technologies.
Yes.
And the Uzbekistan is a new, young, independent country, need it. And you have a huge experience in many spheres.
Well, I noticed this when I came to Malaysia. My impression of Malaysia was that it was holiday destination, palm trees, coconuts.
Yes.
And then when I arrived, I thought, or I was thinking that the UK was advanced, came to Malaysia, landed in KL, and I was amazed. Everything around me, the technology, the systems, processes, and everything, for me to sit here and actually take something from here. I thought I was bringing something here.
And most important, Malaysia has a very strong educational system.
Education, ethos.
Yes.
Ethos. This is something that
And
is obvious.
many
Yeah.
high developed IT parks there.
Yes, yes.
Very modern.
Needed.
And we are cooperating with them very well, because a lot of young Uzbek boys
Need.
and girls, they're
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
for education
Yeah.
to Malaysia. And because
The advances here are significant because of the countries that surround Malaysia as well. And because Malaysia is so welcoming, it's easy for them to intake and then lift and spread
Yes.
all of that technology. I was amazed, I was surprised at what existed here, and I'm still learning. And I can see how globally that can affect and impact places like Uzbekistan for sure. And, you know, like one of the good things about Malaysia is still a very mature country compared to what you're saying about Uzbekistan, and how that knowledge and wisdom can be implemented to something that's young, but the young still have something to give somebody that has the knowledge and the wisdom. So it's a collaboration that is, you know, it's a winning collaboration. So that's really amazing information to learn. And do you feel, following what I've just said, that there is anything that Uzbekistan, because when you're young and you're new and you're on a learning journey, but there's still plenty that you've learned that somebody who is established or a country that is established may not have seen along their journey. So do you think there's anything that you've learned on your journey from Uzbekistan that Malaysia could benefit from? Is there?
Yes, of course, Malaysia could benefit many things from the cooperation with Uzbekistan, because it's a fast developing emerging market. Emerging market. And I already told the taking into account our good strategical position, it's a emerging market. In many spheres, we have a potential to bring some Malaysian companies and to have a good business there.
Yes. So with them, with that exchange as well.
Exchange, the not only knowledges or experiences, to bring good technologies. For example, we don't have in our territory the forests. There are a lot of forests area here in Malaysia.
Yes, there are.
And recently I met with some companies who are making, producing the pulp and paper from the benches of palm oil fruits.
From the
bench of the palm oil fruits.
Wow!
And because
before
it was
trees
burning or put to the garbage.
Okay.
And some companies they created, established
innovation.
Innovation, such technology.
To make
now
paper.
They are producing from this
That's amazing.
garbage pulp and paper.
Amazing.
In our country also we have a huge opportunities to produce. We are one of the biggest cotton producer countries.
Yes.
And cotton tree also the same, like a bunch of the
outside,
palm oil fruits.
Yes.
We are mainly burning them. And now we are trying to bring such innovations and technologies to our country.
So you can learn from each other so much and help and progress.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
We will not burn it. We will not make it...
use it. Good use.
Yeah.
Good juice. Great stuff. So, okay, we can talk about more interesting things now, like the culture and the people and the exchanges that can happen between both countries. And there is a really rich culture I have seen in Uzbekistan. And there's quite a difference, would you agree, in the cultures here compared to the cultures in Uzbekistan, or would you say they were similar?
Our cultures is very similar. Because Malaysian people also mainly settled people there, living on one place. Uzbekistan also, they're surrounded by the deserts, but population is the mainly settled people. in the such cities, Samarkand and Bukhara was the cradles of the science from ancient time, and many world-known scholars born there and lived there and made their researches, and like Imam Bukhari, Imam Maturidi, and Imam Tirmizi, and such scholars, Al-Khwarizmi, Al-Biruni, Mirza Ulugh-Bek, all was born in the territory of modern Uzbekistan.
Wow.
And here also in Malaysia, the culture as a settled people, traditions, culture, even some music. When I'm hearing the music or the Malaysian music, it's similar.
You think?
It's similar too, because there is an interconnection between Central Asia and Malaysia. How? It comes through Afghanistan, through India, and to Malaysia.
Right.
Because great Mughals who established the great Mughals empire in the territory of modern India.
Right.
Zahiruddin Muhammad Babur was born in the territory of modern Uzbekistan. He was the grandson of the great Amir Timur.
So there's a lot there, isn't there? There's so much that was taken.
Islam to the territory of India, and at the same time the culture of the Central Asian people. And of course, Indian traders brought many elements of this culture to the territory of Malaysia. So we have a very good interconnection.
You can see how the flow has gone through.
I read some books about the interrelations, the Malaysia and Central Asia. And one of the books was the biographic book about the well-known businessman here in Malaysia, Said Mukhtar al-Bukhari.
Okay.
Whose relatives originally from Central Asia, from Bukhara. And they came through.
See the connections, and it's quite exciting as well, isn't it? When you see that.
So our countries have a very good connection. And when I'm walking around, some people talking to me in Malay. They are thinking that I'm Malay, and but many Malay people also, their faces is similar to our people.
Yes.
So
yes. Yeah. I can see where you're saying the connection. Yeah, definitely. That's really interesting. There was here in. Apart from, say, the people and the culture, what else have you noticed similarities? Is there anything else like with the buildings or architecture? Are they
architecture? I'm seeing every day here.
Yes.
The domes and the top of the building is the same in our country. In our country, and I am seeing, but. Small elements, they change it because of it came through the India.
Yes, okay.
There are some Indian elements in the domes.
Yes.
In our country, in Samarkand, in Bukhara, in Tashkent, and other cities, you can see the domes, not like here. There is a domes with some Indian, like in Taj Mahal building.
Yes. Familiar with it,
yeah. Taj Mahal also was built by Jahangir, and who was the grandson of the Zahiruddin Muhammad Babur. He brought many masters from Central Asia for the construction of the Taj Mahal. And the same elements here I'm seeing every day here in architecture. Same elements here in Malaysia in many designs similar, very similar in the inside of the domes, and many, for example, in Pink Mosque, inside of the Pink Mosque in Putrajaya, was designed by Uzbek masters.
You can see that.
Yes.
Now you've told me that, because I visited for the first time as well, but now you've said it, you can see it. The intricate detail, the cut work and everything. Yes.
It's a very similar, very similar. In this sphere we have a very good interconnection between our countries.
Amazing. Sounds really great. So tell me then, how about the food? What are your experiences with the food? How does it compare to Uzbek food?
Your nasi lemak looks like Uzbek pilaf.
I've seen it. Yeah. The
Uzbek
but
pilaf.
is pilaf spicy?
But there are a little bit difference in preparing it. Food. I talked to many of our Malaysian friends who visited Uzbekistan.
Yep.
Everybody says
They love the food.
Yeah, they love Uzbek food because it's a very tasty, very very different.
Yeah,
types
fragrant.
Very.
I'm feeling a bit jealous now because I thought the Malaysian food was good, and now you're telling me
it's because of culture.
Yeah,
ancient culture.
Similar spices.
Gastronomic culture also. In some regions, our people also, they're eating a little bit spicy.
So would you say that the Uzbek food was mild compared to Malaysian food? Like the spice is mild?
Some part they are eating some spicy food.
Yeah.
But many parts they are eating the normal salty food. Not so spicy.
No.
But it's very tasty.
It's fragrant and aromatic and kind of Arab, maybe Persian style. I get you. I've seen some online influencers doing the food, cooking the food from Uzbekistan, and I see the spices going, but not chili.
Yeah.
So how have you found your eating experience to be? Have you adjusted to that chili?
Here for me, I didn't have any problems.
No, I'm the same.
Trying the Malaysian food because it's very familiar for me.
Yeah.
Very familiar. Sometimes we are also eating some chili, very spicy food. For example, in Fergana Valley, in many regions, people, when you are bringing pilaf, they are asking chili. Do you have a chili? They are putting chili and eating pilaf.
Carry it from their bags with them.
But therefore, every restaurant and every cafe, they have a
on
chili,
the table,
on
you
the
can
table
adjust
chili,
your taste.
For eating not only pilaf, we have a samosa.
I saw that as well.
Many other foods.
The famous bread.
Yes, and also every region has its own bread.
Yes.
We are preparing
but yours is quite unique, actually. It's very different. I've seen.
Most popular among them, it's a Samarkand bread.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Samarkand bread is something.
Yeah,
it's
very
heavy.
Very heavy. Yeah,
more than 1 kilo.
Yeah.
1 kilo and very tasty, and you can keep it for a long time.
Yes, I've read this as well.
It will not become hard.
It's amazing. I think, is it fermented as well? Maybe the bread? Do they ferment?
Sometimes some people tried to prepare Samarkand bread in some other countries.
Yeah.
But they couldn't.
They couldn't do it.
They couldn't do it because they brought the water from Samarkand, some flour from Samarkand, and mustard from Samarkand. And they couldn't do it there. And most probably, they thought after that, we need a Samarkand air for that. Yeah. It's
so
very unique.
For food, you must only go to Uzbekistan. There's no point in experiencing in different countries. Yeah. There's another big reason to go.
Therefore, it's a unique things you have to see in Uzbekistan. Not only our historical, cultural, and all gastronomic such things that you have to see and
have to see yourself.
Sometimes taste.
Well, the air. It's in the air. Yes. Because you can't do it without being there.
Yes.
It sounds fascinating. So really then, like people-to-people connection is vital. And how do you think that they can make that connection when encouraging things like tourism, education exchange, and cultural? How do you think we can make that happen and faster?
Now, after the pandemics, our young people coming more and more to Malaysia for education.
How is that happening though? Why?
Because there are many agencies opening in Tashkent.
I see.
And Malaysian embassy in Tashkent also working, and some touristic companies also working.
Campaigns,
very
marketing.
hard at advertising the Malaysian educational system. And here also I'm seeing many companies and many agencies working very well for familiarizing our young people with the Malaysian educational system. And therefore, the number of our students here in Malaysia increasing year by year.
Amazing.
And therefore, I think soon we will have reach a pre-pandemic level. Before the pandemic, there was more than 2,000 students there. And of course, pandemic had its influence for that, and now we are increasing the number. And of course, tourism also is another one sphere. And just recently I told that, for example, winter tourism. Many Malaysian people, they are going in winter time to see the snow and for skiing
here it's
in some countries, European countries, northern Japan, and we have also very nice, wonderful the winter tourism areas nearby our capital city of Tashkent. Just 1 hour drive, and we have 4 flights between Kiel and Tashkent now. 2 flights of Uzbek Airways and 2 flights of Batik Air of Malaysia. And therefore, the Malaysians could come in winter time to Uzbekistan to see the snow. And at the same time, Uzbek people in winter time, where it's very cold in our country, come to
Malaysia to get some
have
sun.
a holiday here in Malaysia.
Some winter
and therefore,
sun.
now we are working to organize some charter flights between the most popular destinations of Malaysia. For example, between Tashkent and Langkawi, between Tashkent and Malacca.
Wow.
And yes, and we have some plans to open direct flights between Kiel and Samarkand because of high interest and respect of Malaysians to our great ancestor Imam al-Bukhari, because Imam al-Bukhari was born in Bukhara and he buried in near the Samarkand. And we are planning open to direct flights between Kiel and our historical city of Bukhara. All of this will, accelerate our people-to-people cooperation.
You've also made visa process very easy, haven't you? There is no need.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
It was before some problems. Now Malaysians don't have any problems with the visa. We have a visa-free regime for 30 days. 30 days. Just take your passport, put your money to your pocket.
Couple of clothes in the bag,
take your
backpack.
air ticket.
Yes.
Please, welcome to Uzbekistan. No any problems.
It's such a peace of mind as well for the person traveling, that they'd have hassle-free, planning when going somewhere as well, and to have every similarity, like you said.
Another one, most important thing, it's a safety, security in the country.
Yes,
Uzbekistan, last year in 2023 was the first country, had a first place in the world index of perception of safety. There are more than 120 countries in this list. Uzbekistan, the first country,
that's amazing to
safest country. It's a very important factor for attracting more and more our foreign friends to our country. Because if there is no security, no safety, tourists will not go to your country.
Well, this is it, very much so. So you want the ease, but you want, there's a key question when I am talking to followers on my social media, is they want to know the ease of visa processes. They want to know safety elements, especially for women and young families, and also language. So how do you see the language aspect?
Language aspect is now no any problem.
No.
Because we have already 33 years of independence. Recently we celebrated it.
Yep.
It's after the next day of the Independence Day of Malaysia.
Right.
The 1st of September. Malaysia has an Independence
31st.
Day there.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
here also they have some similarities. And
yeah.
we have a now young new generation
Correct.
who
Yeah.
are fluent in foreign languages. English, German, French,
Oh,
even
really?
Chinese.
That is amazing.
Many people studying some Urdu language also.
Wow.
Yeah, there is. Before, I remember, I'm already 30 years in foreign office. Before, when we had some delegation in some countries, we looked for some interpreter for the delegation. Now
Right.
we don't have any problem.
Yeah.
All people could speak in English, and all our state servicemen, all of them fluent in foreign languages without any problem. Before we had some negotiations with the foreign delegations by the assistance of our interpreters.
Yeah.
Now we are talking directly without interpreters, and therefore everywhere you will come ask, any people will know one foreign language. English or
It is,
German or French or Chinese or Urdu or Farsi language in many regions.
quite big, isn't it?
So because Tajik language, Tajikistan is a neighboring country. Many people is speaking
Yeah.
in Tajik language as well. Therefore, if you will come to our country, you will not have any problems with the conversation with the local people.
This leads me very well into the next kind of thought process, and that is the youngsters and modern technology and modern ways of marketing and modern ways of exposure is through influencers. You know, social media. Have you thought about this much?
Yes, of course. Now, during the last 8 years, we reached many success in this sphere. Frankly speaking, before it was there was some problems for social media. Now you can see the Instagram there, and Facebook there, and Telegram, and some other
TikTok.
social, very, very active. Now our people very actively using this social media.
But lots of influencers are going to Uzbekistan. So they've gone to the country. They've recognized the actual huge potential for tourism. I had never thought of going to Uzbekistan, and I saw an influencer, and immediately there was so much the architecture, the food, the culture, the dancing, the singing. And I thought, why have I never gone to this country before? And it warmed me as well to want to go. And also currency exchange.
Yeah.
And the cost of particularly food is not overly expensive. And so it makes it the perfect tourist destination. But I just feel it needs exposure. It hasn't had enough exposure. And I think that social media is the way that will get globally faster.
They are assisting to us,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
to advertise our
You should
country.
invite them to your
Yeah,
country.
because it's an immediate advertising of the country.
Yeah, and it goes worldwide.
Tourists came
Yeah.
to Samarkand or to Bukhara or to Tashkent. He is making a live performance in Facebook or in Instagram, and showing some videos and talking about the food, talking about the kindness of the people and the culture and some other
It's so
things.
different. It's so rich. It's so vibrant. I saw some things yesterday, and you know, there's so many influences as well. And actually, you are. And I'll tell you this from my own research: is you're actually very centrally located, because I'm on the other side of the globe in the UK. It takes 7 hours and 50 minutes to land in Uzbekistan, and from Uzbekistan to Malaysia, it takes 8 hours. So the position that you're in is fantastic for tourism.
Yes.
I used to travel to Turkey. Turkey is 4 hours. Or Dubai. Dubai is 6.5 hours. Or Saudi. Saudi is 7 hours. So your country,
even main hub in near Istanbul,
yeah,
from Malaysia is more than 11 hours
Yeah.
to flight.
Yeah.
Now, therefore, Tashkent and Samarkand becoming another one important hub, aviation hub between Southeast Asia and some other parts of the globe. For example, the CIS countries, Near East, Europe, and etc. Therefore, geographical location is very good.
I believe that, and I'm genuinely saying to you that as a British person, they don't see Uzbekistan on the list for tourism. And now that you've got social media, it would be the best way to encourage tourism from all around, not just from the West needs it. The West needs Uzbekistan, and Malaysia as well needs it. But you're here, Malaysia, and there is a natural attraction. It's automatic that they will draw towards a place like Uzbekistan. But over there, it's not as open. So and being centrally, like we said, located makes it more appealing. And the people are as kind and loving and friendly as they are here in Malaysia, from what I've seen. So I think that's important to explore. But what else were we going to have a look at? They're really encouraging that people-to-people mutual respect as well. There's a great ability between both countries to do that with the tourism that can come from Malaysia to Uzbekistan. So let's lead on to what the future prospects are. So in the future, Uzbekistan has been undergoing really significant reform in terms of economic cooperation.
Yeah.
How do you think these changes will? I think we've already addressed it anyway. How the changes are going to benefit Malaysian companies, because you already touched on this.
Yeah.
And in recent years, we've seen both leaders express a desire to deepen their ties, and especially with education, renewable energy, tourism. Yeah. Could you share any progress that you've made in these areas?
Yes. For example, in the sphere of education, I already mentioned.
Yes.
The number of students is increasing. We are widening our joint researches between the Malaysian universities and Uzbekistan universities. For example,
science.
International Islam Academy in Tashkent has a very close cooperation with the International Islamic University here in Malaysia.
Right.
And they are making joint researches. They are holding joint seminars, conferences, and even they are publishing joint research books on investigating the great heritage of Islamic scholars.
Right.
It's a very
important.
interesting.
Yeah,
recently I got one of the Islamic scholars in world civilization. It's a very interesting. It's a joint book of the Malaysian and Uzbek researchers. It's a very interesting, amazing book. I'm now reading this book, and in education and the research sphere and in innovation and technological sphere also our cooperation is going very well, and now we are planning to bring some IT companies and innovation companies of Malaysia to our modern IT parks we established it recent years.
Oh wow!
And in business sphere, I already told many companies they are creating their businesses. Now we have the only 33 joint projects in our country with the Malaysian capital.
Yes,
16 of them is in 100% is the Malaysian capital. 17 of them is a joint venture. I hope soon the number of these joint projects will increase because we have now on the table after our first business forum in February, after the visit of Honorable Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim to Uzbekistan in May, second business forum we have on the table now more than 35 joint projects for implementation. And of course, many of them you mentioned rightly, and for in the field of innovation, technologies, and renewable energy.
Yeah.
I already mentioned the Sunview company already establishing 2 solar farms, and it's working with the Kashkadaria local government in creating some wind
turbines. To make renewable energy with wind.
Wind station and small hydropower stations in our country, huge, because 22% of territory of our country, it's a mountain area.
Yeah.
There are a lot of the mountain rivers and which had a few huge potential, hydropower potential.
Like it, yeah.
And we are now establishing and constructing small hydropower stations. And Malaysia has a good experience in this field.
Brilliant.
And then therefore we have a huge homework to do.
I'm really
for the
looking
future.
forward to the next 5-10 years
Yes,
to see all of
yes,
this.
I think.
Where do you think it's going to be in the next 5-10? Where would you hope for it to be in the next 5
I think we will have a in the line with the main strategic partners of Uzbekistan. Now we are coming to the strategic level of our cooperation and very comprehensive. And I think after the 5 or 10 years, we will have a strategic and comprehensive cooperation between Uzbekistan and Malaysia.
Amazing. It sounds exciting. Definitely does. So then tell me then, you've been in Malaysia for how long?
Nearly 9 months.
Oh, same as me then.
Yeah.
And would you say that there's anything that you've experienced here that you would like to take back and implement? Something new that you've learned here?
You know, it's when I'm walking around on my day off on weekends, and I'm monitoring everything. And one figure, just one figure. Last year, Malaysia had nearly 27 million tourists. The foreign tourists who visited Malaysia.
Yes.
Uzbekistan also has a huge potential for tourism, but we last year reached pre-pandemic level, just 7 million tourists. For this year, we put 11 million tourists who will visit Uzbekistan. And your experience in tourism sphere, it's amazing. Every element, for example, for Muslim tourists.
Of course, 100%.
Malaysia had the first place in the rate of Muslim-friendly countries since 2015. It's a very huge success. How you reached this?
Yes.
I'm looking around and every small element for foreign tourists on place. And I'm all time informing our authorities in Tashkent what kind of experience we have to get from Malaysia and bring to Uzbekistan. And first of all, your experience in tourism sphere.
Yeah.
And second one is a high developed educational system. I now working very hardly to bring some university, to bring some universities which has the high rate, not only in Malaysia but in the world ranking. For example, Malaya University has a first rate in Malaysia and the 16th rate in the world. And to bring such high developed, high educational institutions to Uzbekistan, to create joint studying program, students program, joint researchers, joint faculties, even to open branches of these universities in Tashkent, not only in Tashkent, in Samarkand, in Bukhara, in any regional centers of our country. And
I think you're right.
We are working now very hardly to bring the high developed experience of Malaysia to Uzbekistan.
I think you'll be able to do it, especially with the tourism side of things. Because if you imagine the Westerners looking for Muslim, Islamic countries with all of that culture, they come to Malaysia, it's 14 hours to fly, and they still come. They still come. So I think your relations opening up, the strength of your relations with Malaysia will help with that being a destination
for
that's
example,
en route.
One experience, sorry for interrupting you, and one small experience. There is the Umrah Plus packages for tourism.
Yep.
I heard here some Malaysians before they're going Umrah, they are visiting some other Muslim countries. And I heard that some of them even visiting Morocco.
Oh, yeah. Which is
go to the west of Africa and coming back to Mecca.
Yes.
I'm saying, why Morocco?
Why not
to Uzbekistan? 7.5 hours. And from Tashkent and from Samarkand and other regional centers, we have a connection flights to Jeddah. It's very easy.
Why do you think it is, though? They're just not as familiar, and that marketing needs to happen for them, and those tours and those plans need to be in place for them to see and know. And it's all about knowing. How are people going to know the people unless they know? The same for me. I would never have thought fly from the UK to Uzbekistan to Malaysia.
I think after our today's conversation, many Malaysians will know about
They will know now. And even just, it's becoming global. Malaysia too. To there, and then the the West.
Yes.
Because so many people were, when you're looking for flights as well, because Malaysia has, they've got a relaxed visa policy as well for the Uzbeks, but other countries, and people travel because of that reason. And similarly, you have done the same with your visa program, and it just makes it so much easier to circulate. But it's awareness. I think that's definitely the thing. And Malaysia is a very popular destination for people to come, and I'm the same. I came here and I shared my experiences with everyone. Not just as a destination to holiday, but a destination to live. Because, and I know that Uzbekistan is very similar to, like you said, your cultures are similar to the Malay cultures, Malaysians. And so it makes sense to do exactly that. Anyway, Your Excellency, it has been a real pleasure having this conversation with you today, and the insights that I've gained and knowledge about Uzbekistan. And it's been a huge pleasure and to see that this bond between Malaysia and Uzbekistan, sees its course and carries on and grows vibrantly for the future. That's amazing. It has been a huge pleasure to meet you, and it's been a fascinating experience. And thank you for your time and this wonderful conversation that I've had with you. To our viewers, I hope that you have enjoyed today's interview as much as I have, and stay tuned for more engaging discussions here with Malaysia Gazette.